Let's bring in Seattle Talk radio host and the author of What's Killing America, Jason Rantz, and Judicial Watch President Tom Fenton. Tom, to you first. I want to play what Nathan Wade said on the stand on February 15th, and then we'll move on.
When I say frequent, do you think prior to November 1st of 2021, you were at the condo more than 10 times?
No, sir.
So it would be less than 10 times?
Yes, sir.
So if phone records were to reflect that you were making phone calls from the same location as the condo before November 1st of 2021, and it was on multiple occasions, the phone records would be wrong?
If phone records reflected that, yes, sir.
They'd be wrong.
They'd be wrong.
So those phone records now say in the first 11 months of 2021, Tom, that he apparently was in that condo 35 times. Not 11, not 10 times, and they keep saying, oh, no, don't believe those lying phone records.
Yeah, I mean, one of them, he leaves the condo or leaves the area, gets home, and then texts Fani Willis at 4 in the morning or something like that. It's powerful circumstantial evidence that we're seeing. We just saw perjury there on the screen. And, to me, this is now, frankly, a criminal case, and the court obviously has the opportunity to remove them from the case, maybe throw out the prosecution entirely. But they've got some criminal liability here. It's increasingly being clear.
Yeah, I think that's a very fair point. And Jason, it kind of, you talk to people who know this case and they keep saying, they're going to get away with it. The judge is not going to do anything to them. What if they don't do anything to them with all this evidence? What happens then?
Well, it plays into the narrative coming from the Trump team that this is very clearly being driven by politics, that this is very clearly a political vendetta. They're out to get him. I don't know anyone who could trust this process, given the facts that we have so far. And I mean, anyone who watched any of that testimony, you can just watch an episode of Law and Order and you got a better sense of where things were going. When you were getting very, very specific questions about numbers of times you might have been somewhere or phone records, you're kind of foreshadowing the fact that you have the data. And for them to just sit there and push back is either a complete fabrication from the Trump team, which I sincerely doubt in this case, or they are operating under the fact, to your point, nothing's going to get done and they don't really care.
Yeah, we move on now to the Bidens and the Tony Bobulinski mess, because when this FBI informant apparently fell apart, we said, the case is over. Guy Benson writes, even if you fully discard all of Smirnov's, meaning Alexander Smirnov's claims, the whistleblower's evidence remains. So do the bank records showing huge payments flowing into multiple Biden family members' accounts from overseas sources via numerous shell corporations. So does the consistent and unchanged testimony of various business associates, including Devon Archer and especially Tony Bobulinski. But Tom Fenton, if you don't have a written check from Xi Jinping to Joe Biden, everybody says, well, there's no crime here.
Well, it's circumstantial evidence, and it's also direct evidence. When you have witnesses testify like Bobulinski, who said, no, Biden was involved in the business, and I also saw them take steps to cover up that involvement. That's pretty powerful testimony. Bobulinski is a veteran. He's an honest guy, and they've tried to destroy his credibility. Maybe give the Justice Department a few more weeks and they'll figure out a reason to arrest him, too.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. If you don't have the smoking gun, Jason Rantz, I got about 20 seconds for you. They are not going to believe you. They're just going to spin it out.
Well, let's use the Democrat standards against Donald Trump, because they're now rehashing Russiagate, right? So we actually have some documents and data. We can connect dots. They have literally nothing, and they're telling us, well, Vladimir Putin must have something on Donald Trump. So just using their own standards, Biden is guilty as hell.
It's laughable. Jason, Tom Fenton, thank you both. We'll come